be done.
Recording is on. Whoa.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the weekly BizDev call. Alon will jump in hopefully in the next 15 minutes to take over my moderation skills. And today on the agenda, we have a new member introduction, the API 3 updates, Aluna social updates, hackathon updates, and talking about the usage of Notion or alternative services to get some more structure in the DXL. And at the end, the status partnership. Do we have any newcomers today who want to introduce themselves? Doesn't seem like that.
We have Eugene here. I can do a quick.
Yes, I'm here.
Hello, Eugene.
Hi.
Hey, Eugene.
How are you? I'm here. How are you?
We are good. We are good. So Eugene is onboarding, and he's gonna work on Swapper. So yeah, welcome, Eugene.
Thank you very much, and thank you for his instruction.
Yeah, thank you.
And Keenan, do you want to introduce yourself? I think most of us know you. But
yeah, I was gonna say I think I'm pretty well known now, but I'm Keenan. I'm in the BizDev space, and I'm formally starting today. I'm very, very, very excited. And so I'm going to be present in a lot of these calls and working to fit the needs a bit better here in the coming weeks.
Awesome.
Welcome.
All right, let's start with the first subject, API 3 updates. Is there anyone who wants to talk about API 3? I guess are we talking about the sale, which is happening probably right now?
Yeah, I watched it a little bit. So the first batch has been around 1 million for 0.60 cent or so. It was the first batch, and the second batch has been like 5 million for around $1.06. And there's a dashboard. There's a Dune Analytics dashboard where you see how the price is developing, and now it looks quite stable around $1 per API 3, and it looks like everything went fine as far as I see. Seth, do you have anything to add? Because I discussed him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, from the community side, or it's not our community, it's like API 3 community. They're frustrated. I understand them. I also went into this IDO, and there is some like question marks about like where like who got the lower batches, and why can't we see the information, and like there are like a lot of information gaps, and then in the end a lot of people got executed at that price, $1.06, and that's like the next question: why did almost everybody got that price? What happened to the prices below that? So there is a lot of questions, and I think we should also take a look at what happened, and
I think it's quite it makes sense that it works like this, because maybe now we don't have this stepping curve present, but the stepping curve shows that if you have a batch lie around 500,000, then you will end up with this price. That there's no lower price, because I think the batching is that it settles every batch settles at a fixed price.
Yeah, maybe it's
There's
just
not
people.
a different price in one batch. The batch has a specific price, and
but is that you like I have the same issue with any IDO on Mesa. Like I didn't participate in a lot, like today, I wanted just to help like provide liquidity because Martin signaled there's money to be made, but actually, no one used Ether to buy
No.
API 3. But in general, like the way I see Misa right now is everyone is going to this website, creating orders, and then it's like a black hole, and no one knows what's going on.
It's
Like-
very transparent. It's very transparent.
Exactly. And that's like exactly the opposite from anything else we have out there, right? Because everything else is like transparent on chain through Etherscan. And like literally no one, like even we don't know what happened, which is so bad.
I think this is the frustration. It's just information gaps. The information is there out somewhere, like on Dune analytics and whatever it could be. But just like the feeling that you feel that it's getting manipulated. Why did I get this price? Why did this happen? Like, just, I know I'm not saying this it is manipulated, but like we are not helping in that way that there's no information on Misa that shows like what's going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I completely
curious.
agree. It's nobody is getting what's going in the back. What's going on in the back?
Yeah.
No.
And also like that, but that's like definitely something we could work on. Like, I mean, those Dune dashboards, they are not up to date. Like people want real time. People are Etherscan real time usage. They're used to that shit. And then you go to Dune and it's like, okay, 6 hours like before. No one cares what happened 6 hours before. You want to see what's going on right now. And like what we maybe like could think about is actually like an interface who's trying to present like this curve and also those batches and try to explain what's going on and who got those first batches, right? That's what those IDO guys care about. It's like, who won the game? Why didn't I won the game?
I can tell you this: there's two big whale groups I'm tracking, and both of them did like really big pools for this IDO, and even those whales got the same price as everyone else, and they have huge pools. So even they are like confused, like what's going on, and how did we get the same price as that small fish? I'm happy because whales not winning in that sense, but I think there's even bigger whales that got the early price. This is what I think. And even when I'm watching the analytics, it looks like the first batches were sold to like a couple of wallets. This is what it looks like from my perspective. But I'm not the expert on doing analytics here.
Yeah, definitely we have to improve that. Because now it's so intransparent. It's a mess.
Wait, are you saying the first batches got the lower price?
Yes, the first batch got like around 0.63.
Okay, that's not really what Mesa's supposed to do, though, right?
No, of course the first batch is the lowest.
Yeah,
No, I think it's it worked how it should work. I think that's not the thing, but it's just confusing. It's confusing because on the Mesa, maybe I can post afterwards. On the API modem post, there's like a stepping. They made there's like this curve, and they make a stepping, and people think this step are like batches, but they are not. They're not like batches.
Yeah, I think even
But I don't understand why not everything is matched on the first. In a way, the whole process should be on the first batch. But that is what I don't understand. I would expect that if the alts are present, there is one price for the first batch, and then if the volume is around 55 million, then the price is matched with the 55 million who've been there. But I don't know. It depends how the order is set too, and I think that's another thing we don't see. I did look at the chart shortly before the start of the IDO, but afterwards the chart stopped working for me. I don't know if you had the same experience.
Yeah, that's the same for everyone.
Did you see the charts? It stopped working. It was empty.
Short stopped working. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. This should be.
The highest bids should be batched together and cleared at the same price, right? So that it should be a higher price. The early batches, the highest bidders get it first.
No, I don't think so, because at the start, the project who is doing the IDO, they make orders. They made the orders as
And
they said with
you
already
match it
stepping
against-
curve.
Yeah, you match it against the highest bidders. If I bid the highest, I get it first. The
No.
highest bids
Yeah,
get.
but this was clearly not the case,
No.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
not
how it
working.
works.
because
Yeah,
the highest peak was around $3. So
Here, yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of confusion.
Let me
Yeah,
try to
even
explain.
I know. Yeah, explain it.
Let me try to explain the kind of the basic rules of how Gnosis protocol works. It's complicated, right? So you have solvers that are operating off chain. They see orders coming in, right? And then they submit a solution. And then on chain Gnosis protocol looks at like the best solution according to its rules and uses that solution to settle a batch. And a batch is settled about every 5 minutes, right? So each batch can only contain 30 trades or so. This is like a constraint in the current version of Gnosis protocol. You know, basically, for whatever, I don't know if it's gas or what it is, but it can only fit 30 trades, right? So when the solvers, yeah, it can only take 30 like trades in a single batch. So, and what the solvers are trying to do is like kind of generically speaking, like they're trying to maximize trader welfare, right? So what does that mean? That means like if you have all else equal and you have 2 bids, right? Like say somebody is putting in an order for like $1 and somebody put in an order for 90 cents, like it will prefer to take the one for the higher price. Like if to say the sell order is 30 cents on API 3, somebody bids 90 cents, somebody bids $1, like the solvers are going to give preference to the dollar bid, right? All else equal. But say you had 2 with the same price. So there were 2 bids at 90 cents. Now, all else equal, like, you know, if they're the same price, it will give preference to the bigger order because it's more trader welfare, right? Like the welfare is basically the difference between the settle price and your bid price times like the amount, right? Like it's something like along those lines. So so if you fill up a batch with 30 orders, you know, some people are going to get crowded out, right? So the best price doesn't always win because you could have a slightly worse price with a bigger order that like basically has a higher weight. So you end up with these, it ends up being kind of confusing for some people because you maybe put in a price that was better than the batch settled at, but you didn't get included. And that's probably because, you know, bigger orders kind of edged you out.
I was reading the Gnosis papers and I thought it was 30 orders without that system of resolving. Like if it was resolved on chain, I think I understood it that way, that then it's limited to 30 orders. But like now the way it is done, it can like take in much more orders.
I think you're probably looking at the Gnosis protocol version 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is under development. That's not the current system that people are using.
Okay.
And that's what the call tomorrow. Everybody should join that call. I think it's you know, an hour before the dev call, and it's Martin and Alex from Gnosis are going to be talking about Gnosis version 2, Gnosis protocol version 2. Yeah, and they're going to try to solve some of these significant UI, like UX problems we have with Mesa, right? Like one big thing is people have to deposit, and I think they're trying to get rid of that. Another big thing is this 30 order limit, 30 trade limit per batch.
But they're not solving IDO problems, right? They're just doing the DEX.
Their goals, I think, are more generic to make this like a DEX that can compete with all other DEXs and serve like a long tail.
I did have a call with Jen last week, and he told me that they really are also exploring the IDO way, because also on the call, on the forum, on the call, they explicitly tell that they talk about IDO too. So I think they I don't know what's really the background, but they also know that there's the idea that this is working for DEX, that the moment it finds no traction, and they have like to change it and in a way. And they really, for me, it sounds like they're really thinking about doing a specific IDO version of the GNOS protocol, whatever this means. Yeah, we will see. And they also, he told me also they want to flexibilize the developer process should be more flexible, that they can upgrade the system, I think. And they also recognize to say that you have deep deposit upfront. It's very, it's a unusual interaction pattern now, you know. Before with Ether Delta was also the same, but yeah, it changed with Uniswap, where you can just send your token and then it's coming out the other end.
Yeah, I don't think that Gnosis protocol is going to compete with passive liquidity for some things. Let's figure out where it can compete, and obviously Mesa is tied up into that. I do think the API 3 is probably like one of the most high profile IDOs that's happened on Mesa. I guess we had the MTA one in July or something, and I remember Martin had written a pretty good tweet storm about like how the sale went out. So maybe we could use this as an opportunity to just like explain what happened during this sale, and talk about some of those things, just because it does have some kind of high visibility. I don't know if that's on the tweet storm or if we want to write an article or something, but this may be an opportunity for some explain these things that we're talking about.
Yeah, we will see.
Yeah,
so everybody is interested should join tomorrow if it's not in the middle of the night, because I think it's around 1 o'clock.
The call tomorrow is like important for the DXDAO because like for Omen specifically, I'm really looking forward to use the Gnosis protocol version, which is live right now on XDAI, to allow people to create limit orders. And this is actually like right now, I guess, the only option for us to provide this feature on XDAI for Omen. And we could like make sure that the new version for Gnosis protocol is like best suited for our products, which means Mesa itself, and also like for Omen, we need to make sure that the Gnosis team actually delivers the protocol we also like can form and signal what we want, right? Like looking at the Gnosis V2 spec, it looks actually very promising. Like using Uniswap or any AMM. Jean actually signaled that they might even include multiple AMMs as like a backbone liquidity pool for the new Gnosis protocol version, which could be interesting for Swapper. So like we need to be present tomorrow. I will be present tomorrow, and to make sure that our voices are heard.
Yeah, and I think it'll be important for us to assess kind of technically where it's at, because a lot of these things sound great, but I think they also, are kind of just beginning to develop it, right? So we don't know for sure how they will deliver on and when they will deliver.
Yeah, 100%. We had a call with the API 3 team to talk about a proper partnership, and David mentioned like a token swap. That's like an option for us in general. I don't know what to think about token swap in general, but speaking about Omen, they are an Oracle, decentralized Oracle provider. Omen needs oracles to work and to improve the user experience for a variety of markets. And there's a very high chance that API 3 will be one of the first Oracle providers for crypto-related markets. It will be optional, like people can still use Claros to resolve a market, but it looks like API 3 is is interested in implementing the Oracle solution into Omen. And like there are definitely ways for us to like have a stronger partnership with like a shared development roadmap. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I think if their product is used in our products, then that is maybe the kind of place where a token swap or some kind of alignment to like, set incentives for the long term maybe makes sense.
I think experimentations are key here. And yeah, I'm really for the Mesa XDAI deployment and starting to experiment with things there.
If it's okay, could I bring up something that's also Mesa related?
Yeah, go ahead, Ingemar.
All right, cool. So someone from CoinMarketCap wants to speak to us about like integrating with Mesa. I guess just having like data on there. And I think it could be cool because it spreads the word more about Mesa. And I would be for it, but I understand that like CoinMarketCap is like, I guess not the most like transparent, greatest reputation like market reporter out there. So I could see like some opposition to it, but I wanted to know what you guys thought of like getting Mesa on there and giving them like whatever they need to do that. And if someone would like wanted to handle that, if I gave them the Telegram handle of the guy from there.
I definitely think we should try to be on CoinMarketCap. I think it's probably still the most widely viewed site in crypto.
I agree.
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think in general, if people want to, like, if anybody wants to integrate information from DXL products, we should generally like support them unless there's, some like kind of very clear reason not to.
All right, great. Does anybody want to take that on? I mean, I'll do it, but if someone from the business development side, like I can just hand you the Telegram handle and you can talk to the guy.
Yeah, sure, Ingemar.
Yeah,
Send it to us.
All right.
Great.
Yeah, should move on to the next topic. I guess we talked about API 3. I meant to talk about like the general collaboration with them. If anyone wants to update who was on that call, but I guess we talked about their IDO, right?
No, like I tried to give an update about the call.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So I guess we're done with that.
Okay. Do you want to talk about Luna Social? Is there any updates with that from the business perspective?
I know we have a call scheduled tomorrow before the Gnosis call, actually. And yeah, I think we'll figure that out. There was also kind of a lot of back and forth discussion on Mesa auction questions between Hen and the Luna team. But yeah, I think tomorrow, hopefully we'll kind of get somewhere and see if we can brainstorm some ideas. Anyone who wants to join, feel free. I don't think we actually have an invite out, but it'll be tomorrow. Ingemar, I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to add or
just that it's 9 a.m. tomorrow. I hope that works for you guys. And I'll just send the calendar invite if you guys want. Just hit me up with your email.
I just linked to their Medium post about their IDO in the chat here.
All right.
What's
Yeah, like-
interesting about, just a moment, Aluna is also making an IDO and other platform on Bouncer at the same time, and it works different. So it's like a competition, and they pay like 1.5% fee there for this service. Yeah, that's.
Say that again, Martin.
And then what Aluna is doing also is using at the same time another platform. It's called Bouncer. It's another protocol for the IDO. They do it like on two places at the same, and they pay a fee for that on the protocol, a 1.5% fee for this service. I can put the link in. Just have to look for it. No, it's 1.5. He told me, but I don't know. He told me that. I didn't check.
Gotcha. I have.
Yeah. Sorry, John. As far as I know, we had some partnership ratified with Aluna. I believe Ingemar was the person, and now he's gone. That's good. I think we need someone who's taking care of the Aluna partnership, because they're actually a great team, and we need to make sure that we do what we promised to do for them.
Yeah, I think I can. I think on the call tomorrow, I think Ingemar actually might. I don't know if he's from a Luna Social or DXDAO side, but like I think I can drive that relationship from DXDAO side. I don't know them, but I can pick that up.
Yeah, and feel free to ping me. I've known the Luna guys for a long time, and I'm in that Telegram. I think that'd be good because I think this is a good example partnership for a swapper as well. So I think that makes sense for you, Chris.
Maybe you could invite Keenan just to onboard him of some stuff. How we talk to partners,
good
etc.
idea.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, that's great. So I guess the next kind of item is the Gitcoin hackathon updates. Chris or Martin, do you guys have any updates?
From my side, nothing. I didn't get any. Nobody tried to contact me, and I don't know what's going on.
I think the hackathon has not started yet, but they have the links up. So we may have front run them a little bit, but the links looked really good. I went to Gitcoin round 8 hackathon, and you see DXDAO logo front and center. So it looks good just from right now.
Yeah, so the bounties are up. The hackathon is going to start, I think, on Thursday. So yeah, still some time. And yeah, so I wrote that already in Keybase. We have one more workshop slot to offer. That's a 1 hour slot. One problem here is that we have 2 projects kind of competing for that, right? And so either we do just one project filling that 1 hour slot, or we try to talk about both projects kind of core requirements in this workshop slot. Anyhow, we need to schedule it, ideally today or tomorrow.
If I had to choose between Omen and Mesa, I would probably choose Omen because we've done more with it, and I think, that it can be used in more different things as of now, at least.
The problem with Omen is that we currently only have this C token bounty up there, and that is kind of very specific, and so it's the solution space is not that wide,
Yeah, I think we could. I can come up with a lot of ideas. I think, right? Geronimo, I mean, How close are we on scalar markets too, by the way? Is there anything people can play with yet?
Yes, they can definitely play with it. There's like a 90% finished version which they can play with scalar markets in general. Like I still think like we need to serve both projects because we have 2 projects with bounties, right? Like why not do 30 minutes Mesa, 30 minutes Omen with like a not in like a question like an AMA where people can just ask questions, and then we like need to do the job to bring them on Keybase or Telegram to have like our own groups where we make sure that they have everything they need. So we could like, it's kind of an onboarding call for like an internal group chat with them where we serve them and continue with answers if they have questions.
Yeah, so do we have someone who wants to take that call or to kind of like hold that workshop, etc.? Kind of like also answering like a couple questions already in the call.
Exactly.
And,
yeah, like Chris, do you think merging 2 projects into the call is an issue?
no, I don't think so. I just said
Okay.
we just it's like a DXDAO, workshop,
Yep.
and then like hopefully those who are interested in the bounties, they just attend.
You said the workshop should happen tomorrow already?
No. The workshop. Wait, I can send over the schedule later in Keybase.
Okay.
But yeah, we have to schedule it like relatively soon.
Yeah, so like from the Omen perspective, Caden is like the core dev who definitely knows most of how Omen works. We have like several protocols in use, and he's starting to work around 4 a.m. Berlin time. So I think that is sadly our starting point where we could have the workshop. So around 3 a.m. till 4 a.m. Berlin time.
Yeah. Do you mean 3 p.m.?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
3 p.m.
Yeah.
3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Why? Yeah.
Just
exactly.
delivering horrible news. Sorry, it's at the worst possible. It can only be at the worst possible time.
3 a.m. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Definitely p.m. 3 p.m. Berlin time, starting point from the Omen perspective. I mean, interestingly enough, we don't have like core developers from Mesa, so.
Well, so I was going to
be...
say, I think it would be great to have Ancho on that call, and we can ask him if he would join. He would be, I think, the ideal person to do the
100%
answer questions about Mesa. In addition, I mean, I think Caden obviously is the guy from Omen, but it might also be nice to invite Alan Liu as well.
Yeah, Alan is on holiday the whole next week, so I will do my best to like get as much people into the call as possible.
Yeah, I will join too. I will join and try to make sure that we're.
Yeah, I will join too because I did some part of the writing of the hackathon of Mesa. But it would be very good if somebody has really somebody on the call who has a very deep understanding of the protocol, which I haven't yet.
Yeah,
I feel like that probably would be Chen, no?
Yeah, Ken knows better than any of us, but he doesn't do the development work on it, right? So like Ancho's the lead dev on Mesa itself, the DApp, like the Gnosis protocol open source that is like the large majority of the development work for Mesa. And then I think this guy, Alex, who's going to be helping to run the call tomorrow with Gnosis, he's, I think, one of the lead like Gnosis protocol devs. So it would probably, either of them would probably be best suited to answer questions. Yeah.
All right. So John, are you gonna maybe reach out to them?
Yeah, I can ping Ancho.
Okay. So then no other updates, I guess, on the hackathon?
I do have a question that relates. I mean, this is a very high level thing about Mesa, but I think the hackathon might be a good opportunity if we wanted to add a bounty or add to the current bounty around this. Is what do people think about having a lightweight like protocol focused on IDOs that basically would replace Gnosis protocol under the hood for Mesa?
Yeah, I think this would make a lot of sense, because now if the DEX part has nothing to do with an IDO, and now it's just baked together in a way, and it has something to do that potentially you can use any coin to go in to invest, but as we see, people don't use this feature.
Yeah, there's the ring trading that theoretically helps.
Yes, but I think to speed up the development cycle, it would be a good solution, like to have for every new IDO have a new set of smart contracts, and then afterwards move the liquidity out again. Because now, if it's a protocol, we have it's not so easy to innovate, I think. If it's more like a set of, if you imagine that you are an IDO project, a project who wants to do an IDO, and then you can just choose out of different possibilities. Maybe you make a Dutch auction, you make like a ring trade, and then you choose one of the best option for you or for your community, because every community is different also. And then you deploy it, and then you use it once, and then you move the liquidity out again. And then maybe we also can do it on XDAI anyway.
And I think this would be like an ideal hackathon bounty too, right? Because I mean, you could potentially even take separate solutions and like put them together as like options for the IDO, right? Like
yes.
And I think it's exciting from the developer's perspective, because they get to do something from scratch, essentially, right? And yeah, I mean, I think the motivation to do this is there's kind of two sides of it. One is improving the UX around Mesa. Like, I mean, I think we all are pretty familiar with the problems that Mesa has, and I think having a native Ethereum protocol like just for IDOs could solve maybe all of them. And then the other side is, how does DXDAO make money, right? Like Gnosis protocol, burns OWL and doesn't directly make DXDAO money. And because Mesa already has a whole host of UX issues, it's almost, like unfathomable to think about adding fees to the front end itself. So I think in order to like sort of capture this IDO market, from a business perspective, it would make a lot of sense for DXDAO to host its own smart contracts, whether that's whether you call it a protocol or a factory.
We did talk on Friday about this a little bit in depth, and I think there's two ways. One is to build out services, and then you say you use our services, and then you have like a percentage fee which is paid directly to us. But that's very non-blockchain, and the blockchain way would be to have like a fee on it, on the protocol fee, like a fixed fee. But I don't know. Also, if you are lazy, then if you're not lazy, you can take it and implement it yourself. But I think most projects are happy to give some tokens for this kind of service.
Yeah, and even if the smart contracts themselves are maybe easy to fork or clone or whatever, I think having a venue which is recognized is very valuable for an IDO.
And at the moment, I think it's really an issue that we can't have subdomains on the Mesa ETH link, because it's strange if you want to make a dedicated page or version for an IDO, then we have we need, in fact, a different Ethereum name for it, and then the brand and the trust issue is quite high. I don't know if it's. I think this is really a point we should find a solution. But I did see on the chat that on the Mesa chat that John, you talk with somebody asked Nick for it, the guy from the NS team.
Yeah, Geronimo, I
it's
think
not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, subdomains don't get HTTPS certificate, which means
I
for
know
IDOs
that.
it's like I mean there's also the option to not use subdomains but rather something like this, and that's acceptable, right? It's not that horrible. If we could even go further and automate this whole thing, so like project could just request to get this kind of website and domain with like some configuration based on what they're proposing to the DXR. So that's another nice bounty project where like someone could create this this dApp, which is like a configuration proposal for the DXDAO as like an IDO proposal.
Just to like chime in on this, I feel like if we want to really build like an ideal IDO platform, it should be sort of like a Mesa incorporated with DX Trust and then liquidity provision on Swapper. Like this is, so it does like all these three things. So it starts on Mesa, so we can prevent front running, and then the rest of the IDO is done on DX Trust. And then we also kind of like incentivize them, I guess, to provide liquidity for their token on Swapper.
Yeah, I really like the idea of automatically providing liquidity to Swapper, and that's maybe one of the configurations.
The cooler thing would be if the protocol fee we take, if it's a liquidity token pool afterwards. I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, I mean, and if it's providing liquidity to Swapper, DXDAO can make money even without taking fees on the sale, right? Because just by capturing the trading volume on Swapper, there's revenue.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel like, the fair way to do an IDO is to have it, go to a DAO, right? And not to some multi-sig held by the founders.
Well, and some projects may actually like this, right? Like I think that it could be launched by a DAO. But yeah, what I was suggesting is to actually kind of remove Gnosis protocol from the IDO side, but still preserve some of the desirable characteristics like the batch auctions or single settle price or front running resistance.
Yeah, I guess that would be a bit more complex, like as a product. If we're trying to tinker with the Gnosis protocol.
I'm saying not use the Gnosis protocol. It's too complicated.
Okay.
Make something simpler and easier just on Ethereum.
So we should try to like set a number or like a bounty specifically for this, or like, I think it's, a good idea. How would we kind of incentivize this?
Yeah, is it still possible to work with that current bounty and like adapt it to something like this, where we are just asking people to build different components of this?
I think
not sure. Christopher, would we be able to? Okay.
Christopher?
I'm sorry, could you repeat? I was just distracted for a second.
Yeah, John was asking whether this discussion on like basically building a IDO specific protocol for Mesa, would we be able to alter the hackathon to that?
So So just to understand, so building an IDO specific protocol versus like building like an IDO specific website. That's the question.
Yeah, the question is, the base question is, can we still change the bounty completely?
I could ask.
It would still be about Mesa, and I think it's fairly generic right now, but I think we would need to change the wording a bit.
I can ask, yeah.
Okay, that'd be good. Thanks. Yeah, and maybe Martin, we can talk about what this would, and Chris too, or whoever else wants to talk about it. We could talk about this more later, like how
Yes.
to describe this.
All right. So I guess the last topic I would like to discuss is we kind of jammed on this in random, Sky, Curtis, and myself, about basically like a tracking framework for, I mean, we want to start with like BizDev, but I guess this could extend to other like DXDAO initiatives, and how to do them in a not really decentralized way, but a less trusty way. And like a thought is, I would host a Notion or whatever with basically the current list, and anyone will be able to see and basically contribute and participate in this. And this would track, you know, what leads are we talking to, who are we talking to, who's the contact person, what's the latest engagement. And there will be duplicates of this. Obviously, like I'm holding the data, but at any time, anyone can duplicate the data to their own kind of instance. And yeah, just thoughts on this. There are a couple of issues, obviously, with do we want to have all of our information completely open, because that could put us, could help others, you know, compete with us, or yeah, I guess, how do we want to do this? Does this make sense? Because I do think that tracking and following on, you know, the different initiatives, not just BizDev and marketing, but everything else is important.
Yeah, so just to recap what we have done so far, and we have this for marketing and we have this for, I'm getting this weird echo. We had a marketing schedule, and then we also have a partnerships and like Airtable, basically, where we have maybe 20 to 25 of the ongoing and historic partnerships, which include like technical partnerships, integrations, IDO related partnerships. So there's a whole set of them, and they have, you know, we have like what type of partnership it is, the lead and stuff, but it's all in this Airtable, and this Airtable, which was recommended, has, you know, you have to sign in with your email address, and so it is partially restrictive, which is maybe a good thing, and at the same time, you know, anyone here that wants access to it can have access to, we can grant access to it. And the whole idea is that in this decentralized collective, these types of, I'm calling them all opportunities, actually, they come in from all different places. And what part of the messy thing is, they, like a Luna Social, for example, like it comes in, it's been hanging around for a long time. There, you know, Ingemar, you know, was the original person who brought it in, and now he's kind of like on the fence. So really it needs a new lead probably. So on this sheet, we would assign a lead, and that person's responsible for that, you know, all information related to that. And anyone can come to this sheet and say, oh, I have a question or new information about this entity. Like, they know they can either put on this sheet, or they can go talk to that person who's like leading that opportunity. And the creating a process so that when there are new opportunities that come in, and these can be technical ones like CoinMarketCap now, or they can be another IDO interest or something, the information right now kind of sits around in Keybase chat, and maybe there's a forum post, maybe we invite them to a call, but the idea is immediately go to this central or maybe we don't want central, but this place, and enter that information so that everyone can reference that same sheet. And so we have that as an Airtable now. If Notion is better and we think it's easier and more effective, we can switch to Notion. But having this process published, and really it's going to be published maybe on the forum for what to do when a new opportunity comes about, but still people need to, it's kind of going to have to be ingrained in our culture. Like once someone says, I got this new opportunity, it's like, oh wait, go fill out this sheet, like make sure we have a main contact, and then people will start to get used to this process. And then newcomer would have to learn the process as well, because they're not going to really know where to look to see the process. We don't have like a, here's all the ways DXDAO works guide. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. The question is what platform and where should this information sit, and then how open should this information be? Like if it's on DXDAO's, linkable from DXDAO's main homepage and anyone in the world can see it, that's pretty open, right? And I don't know if all of these strategic opportunities, some of them are, not, you may not want to have super open. You might not want them all shared with the entire world. And so that question remains open as well. But
Elon, is it possible to have this completely open Notion group, but still can we still create documents which are like secret based on the guy who created the document?
So I think we can do that if we're paying for it. If it's like, so in the example that I'm kind of like running it and I'm using like a free version or whatnot, then I can create private documents, and obviously I can create like public ones. I think I can also, just like in Notion, I can decide who I want to share it with if they give like an email. So yeah.
That becomes really expensive fast, because that's per user, right? Per user per month. Like if we have
no,
team.
but like everybody would be a guest.
But if
everybody
we have
would still be a
private
guest.
documents.
Yeah, so I guess if we want to have private documents, only I or only the person whose Notion it is can create private documents.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, if we're sharing that account, that's no problem. But if that's one person and more people want access, that's a problem.
When are we going to have like decentralized email that we can all access through like an Ethereum account or something?
Yeah, we're going back to this decentralized password manager. You don't know the password.
So this is the thing. When we talk about private documents, what we've been doing so far is like, okay, when we use Google Docs or something, if it's a private document, you choose to share it with certain people. The important thing is not the actual documents have to all be in this Notion, but the main overall structure of all of the partnerships and opportunities has to be in one place. And then if it's like a sensitive one, it still says like coin market cap, Keenan, like if there's something going on with the technical integration of the coin market cap integration, there might be a private document related to that. But the important thing is everyone knows, go ask Keenan, and if you need access to it, he can grant you access to it. So the documents are still going to sit across lots of different platforms. They're not going to all be in one central database in any platform, I don't think. But the information of who to talk to and what the status is might be the thing that everyone needs to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually like the most important thing we need to get right. Like if I know like Aluna, I need to go to somewhere and I need to see like exactly what's happening with Aluna. And right now, I just know Ingemar did something. It's maybe on DAO I can search for it, but that's fucking waste of time. And we need to have like this one spot where we all can go and like fill in stuff based on new actions happened, and everyone is like updating this one true source. And it's very important because we don't have that right now.
I think too. One thing I think it can't be totally open to everyone, because if somebody comes to us, we would have to declare it every time and tell them, okay, now you're talking to us, but now we make it publicly, because the other else I think it's a trust issue, because if they think they talk to you in private and then it's like public, it's not going to work. And the other thing is about transparency, and I think transparency is quite important for us, that everyone inside the organization can see what others are doing, because otherwise it's really difficult to see what's going on, and people are doing the same work twice and so on. It adds a lot of friction. But I don't know, maybe we just have to choose a platform and maybe also pay also if we don't like that, but I don't know.
I mean, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. I mean, there is some challenges because of us being decentralized and everything. But I think we should just have that one source of truth first, and the dynamic content, whatever it is, we could try to find the solution. I would say Airtable for that kind of content is still.
Yeah.
So
is that you've mentioned some good things about Airtable that it can do way more than we're using it for. Like,
yeah.
Let's make sure everyone currently has this Airtable that we are using, and then the more advanced parts of it, where like you dig into that thing and anyone can add notes to it. Like that part's not set up, but I'm pretty sure someone who knows Airtable could do it rather easily, and see how that works. And then and once everyone sees this and is using it or can give feedback and have an opinion on it, then we can change it, make it better, or we can, if we need to, change the platform too.
Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of smaller stuff that we can start with Airtable just to get used with it. Like how many people ask on Telegram, like who can I talk to about AMAs, or who can I talk about exchange listings? Where do we turn these people? Like some of them might be like legit, but probably not. But still, like this is dynamic content, and someone needs to take care of that. So either we have an email, but that's super centralized, and someone needs to take care of that, or we could just try out something like Airtable, where we give them this form, and they choose what's the purpose of like what are you looking for, and then they have like choices, and that you can do this kind of dynamic content gathering. So I would start with like easier processes, especially with content gathering, and then maybe we should find stuff for us also, like how we work. But yeah, sorry for just rambling, but yeah, I think we start easy and then go to the complex stuff on Airtable at least.
Yeah, so let's do Airtable. I mean, I remember Sky tried to share it with me, and I don't have access to it. But yeah, perhaps we need to figure out like what's the process even to request access to the Airtable. And yeah, let's just start with something really, or just like a source of truth.
Yeah, is Airtable like a document management platform?
It's anything you want, but it is made as dynamic content manager kind of thing. It's not like Notion. It's not like Google Docs. It's a mix. And I would say for us, it suits us best because you don't need an account for everything. You could do like 50% of all the stuff without an account. That's why I see Airtable as an alternative. I'm not expert on the rest, like Notion. I don't know, but I think Notion you need an account for everything, right?
No,
you don't need an account. But I mean, let's start with Airtable. At any rate, like we should be able to switch at a later point. The advantage that Notion would give you is that you can have documents and you can share on them and comment on stuff, just like Google Docs, but not being Google.
yeah.
I still say that we should use Notion for the single source of truth, and then we use Airtable for the dynamic content. So that's two different stuff. Like one is just like, it could be guidelines, it could be just documentation, and I don't know, just product planning. All these stuff could be just one place. And then let's say all the MISA IDOs where we have dates or contact persons and who's take care of what. That's dynamic content. Those stuff is in Airtable. So these stuff are two different things. So information is still like, I think Notion is better, and when it comes to dynamic content, it's Airtable.
Yeah, I use Notion too. I like Notion. I would prefer it for like document management, and if we have like if we learn how to use both services to make sure we get the best out of both at once, like I'm keen to use Notion for documents and the source of truth.
But I think if you want to work collaboratively on a platform, you end up paying anyway a little bit. Or for Notion, for sure. I made an account, but if you want to work together on documents, I think you have to.
Yeah, you need to pay.